Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Traitors episodes 4 through 5 recap. I'm very sorry that I missed this uh, weekend. I was originally going to upload it on Saturday, and then there was just a lot of stuff going on. Actually, it was originally supposed to be Friday because I thought it was only going to be one episode, but then it was going to be two. So I was just like, okay, it'll take enough time for me to analyze both of these episodes. So I thought it would be better to do it on Saturday. Then Saturday was kind of hectic, and then Sunday was kind of hectic, and it was just a lot. It was very emotional. It wasn't emotional, but it was just a lot of stuff going on. So, I had to kind of take some time for myself a little bit. But anyways, welcome back. Today we will be obviously recapping Traitors episode 4 through 5, season 4. This season, I'm not gonna lie, it's not looking like the greatest season right now. It's just I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on that's just like I don't know. It's just um very a little disappointing to be honest. A lot of people like this boot order, we can all agree is very atrocious. Like this boot order is terrible. Um, but I can't say, it's a terrible season yet because we still have tons to go. The traders are doing really well, which is definitely a lot different than it was the last few seasons. The last even season one, I feel like I feel like they're all doing better than the traders in season one. Now, no trader will ever be as good as Suri. I'm saying that right now, but just they're all doing, pretty well. So it's crazy. This is probably the best group of traders, like as a group. I'm not talking about like as individuals, as a group. But yeah, we'll also be going. I'll give my thoughts, obviously, because I have a lot, because a lot happened in these two episodes. Um, I think they uploaded episode 5 because obviously there was a lot centering around the person who got banished and not in a good way. Um, a lot of controversy. So I think they were like, let's upload this episode so, we don't keep the fans waiting or something like that. And I mean, I don't mind it. It's more TV for us. I hate having to wait a week, you know. I mean, the difference when it comes to like shows like Big Brother, I guess, is like we're seeing everything live, so it's not really, like too bad to wait like a couple days because usually everything happens like the first few days and then it's just kind of just seeing if there's going to be any like fights or any like good moves and stuff. So yeah. um but my thoughts on these episodes are they're just so frustrating. They're just whatever, in my opinion. Like I don't care. I definitely think episode 4 was the worst episode of this season, and this is bad because episode 4 is my lucky number. But fucking Tiffany was banished. Spoiler alert. I don't know. I mean, the next episode premieres tomorrow, so I feel like it's been enough time for everyone to catch up and see what is going on. I would wear funeral attire, but I mean, I'm wearing my yellow hat, and I'm pretty sure she was wearing yellow in the episode she got banished in. So sad. I'm honestly really upset about that, but we'll get into it. I'll also be going over how I feel about the cast. I don't know if I already said it or not. Sorry about that. And I'll give updates for next week, and hopefully, I will actually upload them on the actual um, day. So let's get started. Oh, I just want to say I'm very sorry if I say a lot. I'm unfortunately kind of known for doing that. I say like or like a lot, and I'm trying not to say that so much. Sometimes it's a little bit more scared into getting into public speaking and stuff. Even though I've been working on it a lot this past year, I felt like 2025, it wasn't the greatest year of my life. It wasn't a bad year for me, at least. There were some really good moments and there was just some really crappy moments. But like, I feel like something that worked is definitely, like my social skills and stuff. Um, and see right there, I just said, and also public speaking and stuff because it's definitely a little bit scary sometimes. Sometimes I forget I'm a huge like I'm like Mora. I have like amnesia, um whenever I'm up there. So yeah, let me just pull up the notes I took. So obviously we left off of who's going to be one of the top five murdered. I'm pretty sure it was Kristen, Eric, Ron, Caroline, and Lisa, but obviously Lisa can't get murdered. So my prediction was going to be Eric. I decided to change it last minute, and then spoiler alert, I was freaking wrong because maybe it should have been him though. Just saying. Um, oh, sorry. Let me put my lips up here so you can actually see my mouth. Um, so, oh, I forgot to say in the first three episodes recap that Rob did actually get in a little bit of trouble. I think he got in a little bit of trouble with Michael, especially after like they revealed who they were as traitors. Oh my god, I keep saying I'm so sorry. But I think it doesn't really matter because I mean it's literally like 5 minutes. No one really takes it seriously. I mean they do in the game, but like I don't think we as an audience take it seriously. So yeah, each trader I feel like had some bad things they did in the first three episodes, but we may see someone going home next. We'll see. So Ron says so they all have breakfast and then everybody's like, we're the smoked salmon. Everyone cares more about the smoked salmon more than fucking winning the game because God knows what's in that smoked salmon, probably crack. But you know, at least they have something to enjoy in that castle. I mean, when you got Michael Rappaport and Colton in there, I mean, I wouldn't enjoy much either. Um, I'm so sorry, you guys. Ron says three traitors. So he's basically says that there are when he comes in breakfast, he says there are three traitors, or he felt there are three traitors. He said some brought the lightest footsteps, and people immediately thought he was suspicious. They're all kind of already suspecting Ron because of the whole Porsche vote, which I think is ridiculous. I mean, that happened like it's funny because it didn't happen that long ago in the game, but like when it comes down to everything, it actually did. Like it happened. It felt like it happened forever ago. Um, Michael wants to be chill. That's what he says. But Monet and Mora clock him, and um, they don't think he is chill. So yeah, there is also suspicion on Lisa because of the answer she gave. Like immediately when she walked into breakfast because she was one of the five people up for murder, they were like, what happened? What went on? Did you feel the traitors? Like all that stuff. And immediately she was like, oh my God, because she's obviously a traitor. And she was like, oh my God, is everybody on to me? Um, she was not giving that great of answers. Sorry. She had, yeah, not good answers. Um, everybody was just kind of clocking that she was not a part of, what was going on. But she mentioned this axe thing. They were like axing them, but Ron did not mention it. So everybody's looking at Ron because Ron is a bigger target than Lisa is. And then we have Eric walk in. Eric was the third person to walk in. He says he thought there was two traitors and says he might have found a person that might be a traitor. And now he acts like that this is the best information he has ever found in his life. Like this is groundbreaking evidence. Spoiler alert, it was not. So then I am so sorry, you guys. Oh my god, I keep saying Then the last person walks into breakfast and it was Kristen. So that means Caroline was murdered face to face. And they were basically they were being ruthless to her. I mean, it was a little ruthless. I did not expect that. Especially well, to be fair, I kind of expected that from Lisa. Lisa Caroline calls Lisa a bitch, and then Lisa was like, "Too bad, Caroline. I won't see you at BravoCon," or something like that. It was very brutal. I'm not gonna lie. Now, Caroline, I did not care for. I thought she was boring, to be honest. I don't know what she was like on Real Housewives of Dubai or whatever, but she was boring here. So I did not care when she was murdered. I was like, okay, this is probably the person who I'm like, okay, they're out of the game. Like, I don't care. It's whatever. Tiffany calls Jam Jam a traitor, and she has a suspicion on Ron and Michael and Jam Jam. And Tiffany wants Ron out really badly. Um, Eric and Ron, oh my God, they think it's more. And for a second, I thought the person who uh, Eric said he heard a laugh from was, or like some great evidence from, was Mora. I was like, wow, he really has to be delusional. So Colton is immediately suspicious of Tiffany, and he gathers his whole cult of people. I really do not like Colton. Oh my God, that should be a good nickname for him. Oh my gosh. Colton, like Culton. Oh my God, I think I just created something. The concept of me creating something. What the fuck did I just say? Whatever. And Monet thinks Lisa is a traitor. Monet immediately clocks Lisa because Lisa was being terrible at the round table. She was being very bad, or she was giving very bad answers. So obviously, someone was going to suspect that. Michael being a dumbass. Mark, Colton, and Kristen target Ron. Oh, I think this is in the challenge. I liked this challenge, in my opinion. I mean, the challenges are usually very boring to me, but I thought this one was a little interesting. Um, Monet targets, they all kind of nominate someone for murder. So the first person was Ron, and then Tiffany. And then Tiffany says something so funny. Like, it caught me, like, off guard. It was like, I know the fuck they didn't. Like, it was hilarious. Tiffany is amazing TV. Like, I'll just say that right there. She's obviously very strategic, and she's obviously very. If you have not seen Big Brother, she's a very strategic person, and she's also a very entertaining person. So it was not a surprise that she would be on the Traitors sometime soon. So Tiffany gets back at Monet and targets her, and then we go down the list. Michael targets Tara, and then he keeps yelling her name. He was like, Tara, Tara. It was like, okay, dude, we get it. You're targeting Tara. Rob targets Michael. Monet says Lisa's name to Candice, which would actually be Monet's demise. Um, Mora is kind of a little, how do I say this? Dependent on Rob, because Mora, I think she like slept or something, or she was sleeping. Not, oh my God, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like she was like, Rob, please carry me. And they obviously have a little thing going on because they're both Love Island. And she says she trusts him completely, which is going to be your demise, Mora. I don't think she's getting voted out or murdered anytime soon. So I think she's fine, but it might be her demise. So then there's Steven, we have Lisa, Mora, Johnny, and Jam Jam. And then Jam Jam cries, which I'm like, dude, seriously, like, you're gonna get nominated at some point. Like, you should have accepted that sooner or later. Uh, and then Colton blames Tiffany for it. And I'm like, dude, Tiffany had nothing to do with it. Like, are you serious? Yeah, Colton really wanted Tiffany out, and it like kind of pissed me off because he had such like a high ego after getting Donna out, and I was like, Donna's the worst traitor of all time. Like anyone could have figured out. Well, to be fair, I didn't think she was the secret traitor. Maybe I probably should have though. Colton tells Jam about Tiffany. Tiffany tells, sorry, I didn't mean to go into like complete silence. I'm just like reading stuff. Tiffany tells Mora Ron thinks he's a traitor. Um, this was definitely a great move on Tiffany's part because Mora is not going to take anything seriously, or that. No, she's not going to take that well. So obviously they go at it at the round table, which we'll get into later. Eric might want to back out, which in retrospect, he probably should have, of saying who he thought was the real traitor at the round table. Also, Michael eats very weirdly. I will like to say that. Like, there's been like memes about it and stuff. He eats really weirdly. Like, he puts like a whole plate to him. God, where is something? Sorry for y'all who have audio. I don't mean to do this. But pretend this was a plate. It was like that. It was like very weirdly. I don't know why he eats like that. I hate weird eaters. I don't know. I just find that shit really weird. So then we get to Colton tells Jam Jam about Tiffany targeting him, and Jam Jam did not take it well and is going to come for Tiffany at the round table. Then we get to the round table and it's Colton versus Tiffany, and oh my gosh, Tiffany clears him so bad. Like her insults were fucking hilarious. They were hilarious. Like I was dying laughing. I was like, damn, it would suck if they got rid of her because like she was carrying that round table. Like it was hilarious. I forgot what she said. She was like, I'm way smarter than you. And I was like, yes, because you are way smarter than him. Tiffany also goes after Jam Jam a little bit, or they kind of fight one by one. And then Jam Jam was like, I'll write your name down right now. And then Tiffany was like, go ahead, do it. And then she said to like Colton, um, Tiffany, like the company, which was hilarious commentary. And then we get a little bit of Ron versus Mora, and then Mora was like, "Don't ever say my name again, or else, don't do me like you did to Portia." You know, basically that's what she said. And then Eric finally speaks up, and this is the first we hear from Eric in 4 episodes. So congratulations to him. Eric throws someone under the bus, and he says he heard a laugh, which I'm like, interesting. And he said it's from Tiffany. And I'm like, oh my God, is this dude stupid? Like, are you serious? And then Tiffany says you might need to pick a different career because you were completely off. Like, you were completely off. You thought you had. Now, I'm not going to say Eric is as cocky as Colton is, but like, dude, come on. Are you serious? Like, you were so off. It was bad. Candace defends Tiffany, which I thought was a sweet moment because Tiffany was obviously getting gained up on. She was talking about like how, she has a son who she needs to pay for his college tuition and stuff. It was also a little sad. Great strategy on her part. She was trying to use the waterworks, but unfortunately, nothing was saved. After Eric said that, it was kind of seeing that Tiffany's grave was digging bigger and bigger. Is that how you say the phrase? I don't know, y'all. I should write a script for these. Um, then we get Dorinda versus Ron. Was that this episode or was that next episode? I don't know. I think there was a little bit this episode. Dorinda and Ron have like a very weird relationship. They don't really like each other and they kind of suspect each other is both. Ron was like, it's Dorinda and it's Mora. So yeah. So then they all vote, and everyone votes for Tiffany except for Tiffany, obviously herself, Natalie, and Michael. Michael, I believe, still votes for Jam Jam. Michael has had not one correct vote since the beginning. I mean, come on, that's crazy. And obviously they regret it. She's like, y'all don't deserve me. I'm a faithful. I'm like, yes, they don't deserve you. Like they oh, it frustrates the hell out of me that they voted her out because they really did not deserve her. Now, after that, Michael thinks Colton is a traitor. Colton, Rob, and Steven are traitors. And he kind of clocks Rob a little bit. So, so then after the round table, everyone's feeling like bad for Tiffany and stuff. But Michael thinks Colton, Rob, and Steven are traitors, or one of them is a traitor. He doesn't know who he thinks is a traitor, but he's just very suspicious that it's one of them. He's mainly suspicious onto Colton. Now he kind of clocks Rob. Um, not great for Rob's game that he might be suspected as a traitor, obviously, but they can't really do anything because he wasn't in the same room as them. So then it goes down to we go to the turret for the next murder. Johnny, Monet, Tara, Mora, and Steven were like the final five choices that they like decided because everyone else was like either hugely suspected on or voted out or traitor. So in my mind, I thought it was going to be Johnny. I thought that Johnny would have been the best because he kind of had that little bit of a connection with Tara. Speaking of which, I'm a little disappointed in Tara and Johnny. They're both really kind of boring. I thought their dynamic was going to be like a really cool thing on the show, but it's actually a lot worse. I don't know. It's just very boring. Maybe we might get deep into the show and they might have a very dynamic relationship, but it doesn't look like that right now. So I thought it was going to be Johnny or Steven that was going to be murdered. And that is pretty much the end of episode 5. No, episode 4. Oh my gosh. Now we get into episode 5, and they all think Ron is a traitor. Ron is suspect number 1. I don't like the way they are treating Ron. I think it's a little hypocritical that they're still blaming Ron for the Porsche vote, but Colton and Eric both get away, even though they were the head charge against Tiffany. It is such privilege. And Ron is not playing a great game. I'm not saying he is, but I feel like they should be a little bit more easy on him. Colton talks about his bachelor experience and coming out. And Narina's like, wait, you were on The Bachelor when you were gay? And I was just like, because I didn't know who Colton was before Traitors. I don't watch The Bachelor. I think The Bachelor is very boring, to be honest. I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. So then we get into the murder, and Monet was murdered, and I was very upset, especially after we lost Tiffany. I think that is very crazy that she left so soon. Like, are you serious? Like, we just lost Tiffany, and now we're losing Monet. I thought Monet was going to go to the end. I literally said in the last episode, I thought Natalie and Monet were going to go far, and Monet was murdered. It sucked. And Monet was playing a really good game, too. And once again, Monet's demise was telling Candace about Lisa. And I think Monet said something about never trust a housewife, which never trust a housewife. They did it to Caroline. Now they did it to you. But yeah, I was very upset. I was very upset to see Monet go. But at the same time, it's probably a good move for Lisa's part to get rid of Monet. But I don't know. It just didn't really make any sense. I thought they were going to murder Johnny for some reason, but I guess not. There is suspicion on Colton. He is called a ringleader by Michael and Kristen. Kristen, she is kind of irrelevant a little bit, but I would say she has a little bit more of a presence this episode. And I think she's going to be the leader of Colton's downfall. And I hope she is. I will be her number 1 fan if she does, because I am hoping for Colton's downfall. And Michael, obviously, but no one's going to take Michael's opinions seriously. Ron is now targeting Dorinda, and This is why I don't like Ron's game, because he's just like targeting, oh, Portia, or Donna, or Mora, or Dorinda. It's like he's targeting so many people, and obviously he's not very good at the game. So that's it on that. So then we get to the challenge, and oh my god, this challenge was so boring. I was like I kind of wish they don't have the challenges, but at the same time, I guess I kind of get it. I mean, at least they have a little bit more of a presence for the shields, but I don't know. If only one person grabs his shield, then there is a murder, which I don't know if someone grabbed his shield or not. So there could be a murder, but I highly doubt. Yeah, it was an extremely boring challenge. Like I did not care. We don't know who took the shields. I don't know why they didn't reveal it to us. I hate when they do that. But again, it kind of leaves the suspense. I definitely feel like no one took the shields. I don't know, just kind of the way they left off episode 5. I don't feel like they took the shields, just because the way they left off on the episode. Now Ron thinks Michael is a traitor, and Michael and Ron kind of like they were like in an alliance with Donna earlier, but obviously they're kind of just attacking each other now. They both are trying to get each other out. So then we get done with the challenge, and Dorinda and Ron, they immediately like, Dorinda's like, I think you're a traitor. Or no, Ron is like, I think you're a traitor. And immediately Ron does not like Dorinda. I think he's made it very clear that he does not like Dorinda. I don't think Dorinda likes Ron either. So I think they just don't get along, I'm pretty sure. And then we go into, I think it's the kitchen, and they're like doing like a little like who they're gonna vote out at the round table. And I think Michael walks in, and I forgot who was in the room, but I think it was Rob R, Colton, Natalie, I think, Kristen, and someone else. I don't know. But Colton then goes, who are you going to murder tonight at the Traitors? He said, or murder tonight on the turret. He said something like that. And then Michael obviously was like, oh, I see how you're doing, like blah, blah, blah stuff. And then they kind of go at it. It was a very serious fight. And a lot of people are uncomfortable. A lot of people don't want to be in the same room as Michael. Michael apparently has been making a lot of people uncomfortable behind the scenes, which, I mean, I'm not surprised. If you look at that man's history, it's not very surprising that, he's making a lot of people uncomfortable. So then we have Michael versus Colton part 2 at the round table. And then Colton accuses Michael of being homophobic. He was like, hiding for 29 years is something that I wanted to do and stuff. And it definitely brought up a lot of conversation online. I personally, I don't know. It's such a hard decision because I don't like either of them. It was like watching Trump versus Musk. Like, there's not really someone to root for. As much as I hate Michael, I do feel like Colton was trying to, play the victim and stuff. And it was just like, oh my God, shut up. But everyone goes after Michael. It's whatever, because I hate both of them. I'm like, I don't care who gets voted out. At this point, you could go. Colton brings up a good point. I mean, actually, no, it's not really a good point. It's very mediocre. Everyone who voted Michael is gone besides Jam Jam, and Jam Jam has very high suspicion on him. I did not expect Jam Jam to be playing this very messy game. I definitely think he's going to get voted off on the round table soon. And then we get Ron versus Dorinda. And then Dorinda was like, you never had the time to talk about my family. And then Ron is like, or your family. And then Ron is like, you don't have to know anything about my family. My family is none of your fucking business. I was like, damn, okay. Because I felt bad for Ron in this episode. I felt like he's being very mistreated. And then I was like, Ron, you can't be doing this. Like, this is a very bad social move on your part. Michael offended everyone. So it was no secret that Michael was going to go. And I think this is the first time in Traitors history that someone who got banished, no one cared that they were a traitor. They just all like were happy to see him go. Which I mean, I don't blame them. Like it's Michael Rappaport. I would not be want to be around him either. I probably vote him out so fast. That's the thing. If I was the traitors, I would probably play on emotions. I would vote out the people I straight up just don't like, just because I don't want to live with them anymore. Because that's who I am. I think sometimes I would go with the strategic route, and sometimes I would just be like, "Get out of here! I don't like you." That's the thing. The traitors is such a different game than Big Brother. I don't know why I brought Big Brother up in this. Big Brother has nothing to do with this. So then Michael was like, "You just voted off the best looking," and I'm like, "Sir, who told you you're the best looking when Rob is in the house with you?" Oh my God, did you see him in those overalls? No one's sad to see Michael gone. Like everyone's like, "Okay, bye, see ya." And then we get a little sneak peek. Not a sneak peek, but I think what's left to come. Kristen is after Colton. She wants Colton gone. And I'm like, thank you. Finally, we're getting this Pilot Pete ripoff out of here. He wants to be Pilot Pete so bad. It's insane. Like, you are not Pilot Pete. And no one even likes you. I can't really name anyone who's a fan of Colton because Colton's a weirdo. I mean, did you see what he did to his ex Cassie? I kind of read a whole story on that, and he did some really horrible shit. Like Jesus. And then we get to see Colton, the dictator, Culton, target Lisa and suspect Lisa. And Rob tells Lisa, I'm like, thank you, Rob. Thank you for doing the good work. And the traitors are surprisingly sticking together a lot more than I think they should. I don't think it's a bad thing that they all want to go together, but I just remember they like the traitors are gonna eventually have to turn on each other to, get to the end, but that wasn't the case, especially last season. Last season, the traitors hated each other. It was hilarious. Oh my God, it was amazing TV. I miss season 3. But yeah, Rob tells Lisa, and Lisa is like, we got to get Colton out of there. And then the episode kind of ends up there. And Dorinda also says it's not like Lisa to not talk. So I think Dorinda is also suspicious of Lisa, which is definitely not great because Dorinda and Lisa definitely know each other outside of this because they're both housewives. So yeah. So now I'm going to get into the cast and what I think of their performances for both of these episodes. Let me go ahead and share my screen, actual recording in higher quality. Well, thank you. I definitely need to know that. So first we have Caroline. Like I said, really boring. Really did not care. It was not that big of a deal. I did not care that she was murdered. I was like, whatever. I haven't really seen you that much in the show. You were kind of irrelevant. So have a safe trip home, I guess. Back to Dubai you go. Tiffany, very sad to see Tiffany go, especially so early in the game. They got rid of all the gamers this year, like so early. I guess this is kind of what happened to the Housewives last year, what's happening to the gamers this year. We're only stuck with Jam Jam and Natalie now. And I don't think Jam Jam is going to last too much farther than I think Natalie's going to go far, though. So we'll see. Tiffany, I will say there are definitely some points in the game that was not great. Obviously, led to her banishment and stuff, But like honestly, I don't think there was anything too bad to her game. It's just, I guess it just wasn't her year. It's just, it's really unfortunate. I don't know. I don't think there was anything too bad to her game though. It's just, unfortunately, she got stuck in the house with Colton or castle with Colton, and Colton is after pretty much every single mother, it feels like. First he's after Donna, then Tiffany, now Lisa. So, kind of hope Lisa clocks him next episode. Monet Exchange. I'm really shocked to see her murdered so early. This boot order is atrocious. I mean, really, Ian, Portia, Rob, Donna, Tiffany, Monet, like, are you serious? Like, this is probably the worst boot order so far. I will be honest. Like, a lot of people who I was rooting for in the beginning. I was so excited to see the people who I picked. My top three people who I picked for the Traitors are all gone. Like it's crazy. In the first 5 episodes, I am so disappointed. I'm very sad to see Monet go. I thought Monet was doing good in the game, but also her trusting Candace to tell Lisa was kind of her demise. That was definitely not a good move on her part. Um, but yeah, I would say that was her only bad move. Otherwise, I think she was just seen as too much of a faithful, and that's why they had to get rid of her. But it's so unfortunate. It's so sad. Michael Rappaport, don't care for him. Was happy to see him go. I did agree with him on some points on his last roundtable. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but it's Michael Rappaport, and I'm definitely not gonna side with Michael Rappaport of all people. So yeah, I don't care that he's gone. Goodbye. I never have to see you again. Whatever. Actually, I'll see about the reunion. Natalie Anderson. Natalie's been kind of invisible, except when she clocked Michael. She was there times. I seen everyone compare the Colton and Michael thing to what happened on Survivor with the Jeff and Varner thing. I don't watch a lot of Survivor, so I don't know if that's their names, but I'm pretty sure that Jeff and Varner, right? I'm not sure. And Natalie was in both situations, so it's crazy. It's like getting deja vu. But she immediately clocked Michael. She was like, "I'm voting you out. I don't care that you're a traitor. Just go home and leave us all alone," which is exactly how I would be in the game. I think she's doing very well. Sorry. I don't think too many people are onto her. She's kind of invisible, but that also could be, her demise is her getting banished or murdered simply just because she's too faithful. I see her going far. I don't see her winning for some reason. I don't really see anyone winning right now, to be honest. But I do think I said I don't see her winning, but I do think she could be a winning faithful. So yeah, I guess I see her winning. I don't know. But we're moving on to Jam Jam. And Jam Jam, I think he did a little bit better than he did in the first 3 episodes, but not by much. I think there's still a lot of suspicion on him. I think a lot of people. But I don't know. Now with Michael gone, and Michael was like his main, target, I think he'll be fine. I don't think he'll get voted off anytime soon, but it could come back to bite him later in the episode, but we'll have to see. But yeah, Jam Jam, he's just kind of in the middle. I think he went up from like bad to just like okay. I think he's in an okay spot right now. I don't think he's gonna be going. He's definitely not getting murdered anytime soon. Now, banished, I'm not sure, but he's definitely not getting murdered anytime soon. Mark Ballas, who notice how I've not mentioned him once. Okay, I might have mentioned him once when he like was playing the game or whatever, but like he is so irrelevant. Like I have not seen a single clip of this guy in the past 5 episodes. Obviously, I know who he is because he's from Dancing with the Stars, but it doesn't really make for great reality TV, I guess. But he's also on reality TV. I don't know. He's very boring. He's probably going to be murdered sometime soon because they always murder people who they're focusing really less on. So I don't see him making it that far yet. So yeah, just very boring. Sorry. Stephen Coletti, he had a little bit more screen time than Mark, but also don't know who he is. Apparently, he was on like Laguna Beach, that was back on in like the mid 2000s, which was like a very popular show at the time. But Traitors do not know who he is. He did have a nice moment with Ron. He was like, "I'm glad you're still here, Ron," even though they were playing for the game, which I thought was so sweet, especially because Ron was being so attacked. So props to him for doing that, for being the bigger person. But yeah, he's just kind of boring. I don't really have much to say about him. I don't think he's getting murdered or banished anytime soon. I think he's just kind of in the middle. Like, I think he's a very big faithful. I feel like he's like the Dylan Efron of the season. I don't know. or just the Kia Villanova or Kaya Villanova. I'm sorry, Candace. I think Candace is doing great as a trader. I know she had a little bit of suspicion of her with Rob C, but now I think she's doing well. I think she's in the best spot out of all the traders right now. But we could see, some of that stuff coming back to bite her. But I do think she is in the best spot. I can't really see her getting banished anytime soon. I don't know. I don't think she's gonna get banished. I don't know. I just don't see it. But yeah, I think she's doing good as a trader. I love her moment where she defended Tiffany and stuff because, she went through the same thing with Portia in episode 2 and then Tiffany. So yeah, I thought it was very, very sweet. She's making very good points of like the people she's targeting and stuff. Like she's still, going after Ron and stuff. But like she's not like doing it like Ron, I want you out of here or whatever. She's just kind of, she's doing it very subtly, if that makes sense. Unlike Michael, who's like, I think you're a traitor, Colton, or something like that. So yeah, I think she's gonna be around for a while. I don't see her getting voted off anytime soon. Ron, probably the worst faithful in here, unfortunately. Game player wise, game player. Just not doing great, unfortunately. I do feel really bad for him. I definitely do feel like it's a bunch of double standards, but he kind of did put himself into that. So I don't know. It's very unfortunate, but I definitely don't think he's doing well. I do see him surviving the next episode. I just think there's way bigger targets than him right now, and I don't see him getting banished next episode. But I do think he'll be banished soon, just not banished next episode. Mora kind of got into a little bit of trouble with Ron, but I don't think anyone's going to take her seriously enough to be a traitor. I mean, she just has a very, faithful presence. I feel like no one's going to see her as a traitor just because she's very in her own head a little bit. I'm not saying that as a bad thing or whatever, but just people might not think she have the smarts to be a traitor. So yeah, that's my opinion on her. Kristen, I hope she's the one to kick out Colton. I really do. I hate Colton so much. I'm sorry. But yeah, she's kind of been irrelevant a little bit. But like I said, in the 5th episode, we kind of saw a little bit of more of her plotting on Colton, and I definitely think it's going to come in to play in the next 2 episodes. And I definitely do think Colton could be in danger. We'll see. Tara Lipinski, boring. I don't know. I feel like her and Johnny are obviously there because of the Winter Olympics. I don't care for her. I don't. I wish I did, but I don't. I wanted to like her because of her whole Johnny. It's not that I hate her or whatever. It's just, she's boring. Same with Johnny, but we'll get into Johnny later. But I don't know. Maybe their friendship will benefit something in the next few episodes. We'll see. Dorinda. Dorinda is doing fine this season. I mean, she's kind of been laying in the background, but she obviously is being suspected by Ron, but also Ron is someone who no one is probably taking seriously because everyone thinks he's a traitor. So I don't think it's going to be too bad that for her game. But I don't know. I don't think people will suspect her as getting murdered anytime soon. But there could be a chance where everyone might think she's a traitor because it's her second time coming back, kind of like what they did with Kate in season 2, and they'll be like, "Oh, we got to get her out of there." So I wouldn't say she's in the worst spot, but I wouldn't say she's in the best spot either. Eric Nam. Oh, Eric. A lot of the faithful still like him a lot. Is after the Tiffany thing, which I guess is good for him. People might be onto him though now because of that. But as of right now, I don't think they're onto him. They're more onto Colton than they're onto Eric. I don't think Eric is going to go anytime soon. Maybe murdered. I don't know about banished yet, but Eric just, I guess, has like a likable presence in the castle for a lot of people. So I don't think he'll be going home anytime soon. Oh shoot, I skipped. Rob. Rob was in a little bit of trouble with Michael, but now that Michael's gone, I think he's back to, square one. That's the right catchphrase, right? I don't know. But yeah, Rob, he's doing good as a trader. All the faithfuls trust him, but so do like the traders and stuff. He hasn't done anything too suspicious to make the faithfuls like side eye him and stuff. But I definitely do think there might be a theory where there's like one of the strong guys, Colton, Robin, Steven, and he could be in trouble. He might be the second suspect after Colton. But other than that, I don't really see it. I think he's doing fine. He's doing good. I could see him winning this game along with Candace. We'll see. I think they're probably going to betray one of another. They're probably going to turn on each other soon. Lisa Rinna, I would definitely say she's in the worst spot for a trader right now because obviously we left off of such a cliffhanger of her wanting to get rid of Colton because Colton suspects her. But we'll see. We never really seen her outspoken at the round table. So we'll see if she's able to come out of it and if Colton is, the loser or if she's the loser. But yeah, it's not looking too good for her right now. I don't see her surviving to the end. Colton Underwood, annoying wannabe pilot Peter, whatever. I don't care for him. I don't like him. I don't like the way he speaks to people and stuff. I don't like that he's like, "Oh, I'm Colton, and you have to listen to everything I do." Oh, yeah, Colton. There's some suspicion on him. Lisa's obviously after him, and then Kristen. So I think he's going to be going very time soon. I think the Colton train is done. Goodbye. We do not care for you. I hope Lisa clocks him in the next episode, and he's the one that gets banished. I really hope that's true, because I did not think Tiffany was going to go home. I thought it was going to be Ron because I was like, they're making Tiffany the obvious suspect, but like anyone who with a brain who's watched reality TV, it knows it's never the obvious suspect. It's always the person who's like has the most under editing. Last but not least, we have Johnny, and I kind of talked about him a little bit, just a little bit boring. Not a little bit, he's very boring. I don't know. He was like, get out of my castle, Michael Rappaport. I was shocked that the Traitors didn't murder him, though. I definitely think that was. Remind me to bring water in here next time because I've been talking for such a long time and my throat is like killing me. Johnny, don't care. Just, buddy. I do think he's doing good in the game with Tara. They're doing a good job like hiding their like friendship and stuff. I don't know if anyone knows their friendship because if I was in there, I would not know because I don't watch sports or the Olympics. The only person I know from the Olympics is Simone Biles. Like that's literally it. And Ryan Lochte because he was on season one, but other than that, I don't know who anyone else is. So yeah. But Johnny, I think he's doing fine in the game. Just a little bit boring. We'll see if him and Tara's friendship picks up. All right, so that is it for today's podcast. My throat is so dry. Oh my gosh. I need water right now. But before I go, I want to share the schedule for next week. Make sure you, if you're hearing this on Spotify or watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, follow my Spotify, follow my Instagram, follow my TikTok under Gary Gossip's Reality. And let me share the schedule for this week. So on Thursday, we will be doing, tomorrow, we'll be doing a pop culture recap of what's been going on in the last month, kind of talking about issues that have been going on and also just stuff, kind of watch my thoughts on a couple albums that came out recently and just my thoughts on stuff that has been going on this month. It's been a really eventful month this month. There's been a lot of stuff going on, so it's been very interesting. And then on Friday, we'll have a Traitors episode 6 recap. Now, I don't plan on moving these dates anytime soon. I mean, just who knows the day I might have tomorrow? I don't know. But as of right now, we're good on Thursday and Friday. I'm once again very sorry for being super late and super delayed, um, and not making an announcement about it. It's just I needed some time off because I've been dealing with a lot of personal things. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'm so sorry about saying and like so many times. I'm sure a lot of you are probably going to be annoyed by that, and I'm very sorry. I'm only new to this, so it's kind of working on it a little bit. Hopefully, I'll get better soon, but we'll see. I'm very excited for what's to come. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening.